Hello everybody and welcome to Dust and Elysian Tail. So, while I was practicing a little bit to get back into shape with the game, I accidentally landed on a save point and lost some footage. But let's talk to this person anyway.
You done find my stick? No? Well, what are you doing standing around here? How am I supposed to hit things without my special hitting stick?
So, we have to journey into the basement of this cave to find his special hitting stick. It's basically the best quest ever.
Hello, dear. I'm going to hazard a guess that you're the outsider in town?
I stand out that much, huh?
Well, it's been years since I've seen someone like you, and it's been maybe 30 years since I've seen a nimbat like your friend here. What a treat!
We don't like flying into caves. You know, the dark, the cramped spaces, the endless gloom. That's endless forever.
I'm sorry. Look at me going on. My name is Flo Hop, and my husband Gappy is up there in the pen minding the sheep. He's been so overworked that I was hoping to make him his favorite stew. But to be honest, I'm having trouble growing red moss with the wells running dry. I think I might have gone and made my last stew.
I could always help you find some of that red moss if you like.
Oh, I couldn't bother you for something as silly as that. I know where they used to grow, but with all these monsters about, I dare not leave Mud Pot.
It's no trouble, really. If I come across any, I'll bring them to you.
Well, aren't you a sweet one? Red moss clumps grow at the base of the large red mushrooms, and they tend to prefer perfect darkness. Just don't hurt yourself on my account. In fact, take this ring. It'll provide a little bit of light in the darkest of places.
Level up, super explosion. Is it just me or does Flo Hop sound like the name of some indie underground hip hop genre? Also, aren't bats supposed to live in caves? If she's a nimbat, which is a really funny word by the way, why would she hate living in caves? I don't know. It's just Fidget. I guess she kind of is scared and distrustful of everything. This is the save point of ruin that saved over some of my progress. I'm gonna skip him because frankly I don't think I've done enough to warrant visiting him right now. And here's an interesting little puzzle. We have to make sure that we don't step on any of these. Well, we have to make sure that we don't do exactly that. Wow. Look at him go. Fidget's with me. Fidget's gone. Fidget's with me. Fidget's gone. So I was assuming for a second that maybe the spikes weren't actually in the foreground and you could just touch them and they would just be kind of a background decoration. But as you can tell, they are a little bit sharper than that, so didn't quite work out in my favor. And now we have to deal with explodey bulbs on top of the spikes, as if this isn't already deadly enough. Right, so I believe that if I go down... Oh. Okay. Super red glowy, you'd think that there'd be something to do down here. I probably have to press up. So I was assuming for a second that maybe these spikes weren't actually going to hurt me and that they were just kind of a background aesthetic thing. I don't know quite what possessed me to think that, because they're clearly spikes and they would clearly instantly kill me. But I guess maybe I just had a temporary lapse in reason. I think that at the end of this quest I'm going to get the ability to go through those little mouse holes because the person who gave me the quest was kind of hinting at their importance. And as you can see in this entire part of the game, we see them all over the place, so it should be pretty recently when we get to see them. I'm being kind of scared here because... Oh, hi Gary.
Wait, did you just...
Hmm?
Did you just put that thing in your inventory?
Yeah? What?
Okay then.
What, just because he's a sheep and he's not a furry? He's considered less human or something? Or fur, I guess. Okay, those red spikes are clearly one-hit kill spikes if I have ever known one. And there's no way I got that bomb thing over to wherever I needed it to be quickly enough. But let's just keep exploring through this area and see what... Okay, it's interesting strategy. I think that it will pay off for me in the long term. But here we go. Save point. And it actually worked this time without me having to turn off the recording for a second, so that's nice. So, right, at this point in the game, we've seen these mouse holes everywhere, so I assume that I've just got to get that skill at some point around here. But as I approach this quest marker, I'm also getting the sense that I'm going to be fighting a boss very momentarily. But I don't think I'm at the end of a chapter, so it's probably not going to be a big name boss. So, oh yeah. After I kill this boss, I'm definitely going to get the mouse hole ability. It's screaming that to me. What with the mouse holes being right next to the exit pathway of this obviously upcoming arena that I'm heading towards. Oh, okay. It's getting awfully ready, evil Satan-y down here. Haha. There's been a lot of wind-based puzzles lately, too. Or not really puzzles, but just kind of like the mechanic is making an appearance. So, I wonder if eventually I'm going to get a skill to, I don't know, turn into a rock and drop through the wind very quickly. Because there are a couple of areas really early on in the game. Oh, jeez. That's some generous hit detection. And that really knocked me far away. That's okay. There were some parts earlier on in the game that I definitely remember being not able to get through because there was wind pushing me upwards. So I have to eventually get the ability to move through that. Otherwise, there's just a secret way through those sections that I don't know. Alright, here we go. This kind of looks like a Metroid area. Crouch slide. Yay! I wonder what this is for, like in terms of combat. But at any rate, I'm correct. And there also was no boss to fight. But the music is getting a little bit more intense, so maybe I'm wrong and the boss is on the way back. As usual, we get kind of the classic video gamey thing where you get a new skill and the very first thing you do is spend a few minutes just using that skill over and over again to get used to it. This music is getting way more intense. It's like pulling the grappling hook. Oh, okay. That looks enticing, that little chest with many locks. I think that it's going to be another Super Meat Boy type of thing where I unlock a special friend that will aid me in my travels by giving me a permanent little passive boost to my skills. Let's see, this is definitely some sort of maze. So I'm going to go upwards like this and then maybe drop down because if I remember, yes, there was a drop. Let's go to the left now and then let's go to the left again. Oh, okay, that wasn't quite right. So I'm going to find my way back to where I was, but instead of going left there and taking that drop, I'm going to go right, and hopefully that will put me right where our locked up friend is. And I think that the sound that I keep hearing, which sounds like somebody hitting the ground with a mattock, is probably the sound of... Oh, I messed it up. Okay, we'll just cut. Right, the sound of that mattock is definitely going to be the sound of this cage rattling. This has got to be a Spelunky thing. I mean, that... Look at that guy. That's like Dr. or Mrs. Spelunky there. Do I not have enough keys? Oh, duh. Fidget is saying I have 3 keys. That's how I remember how to do this. So I don't have enough keys. That's unfortunate, but at least I know where one of our special super hidden friendly friends is, so I will be able to find them later on in this game when I do have enough keys to actually unlock the doors. And there's got to be an easier way to get through this. If only I had one of those teleportation gems. Turns out I do have one of those teleportation gems, and it popped me out on the above ground, and I don't think I've actually explored this area whatsoever, but I was somehow able to access it. And there was definitely a key up and to the left, so I'm going to work my way back up there, because I don't want to miss it, and there it is. Alright, so if I had another teleportation gem, then I could just go back down there and take care of business. But I don't, so I don't quite know what to do about that. However, I do believe that I can get through here now, at least. So that's nice. And do I have the red resonance gem? Yes. Aha, another one of these giants. Yes, I was able to successfully counter him easily enough. It's not too difficult to do, it's just when you're playing on hardcore, if you make one mistake, you're dead. This game, originally when I was starting it on hardcore, I didn't think it was ever going to really get much harder than it was at the very beginning, but I have clearly been proven wrong because it just does not let up. And it's not even the combat that's really the hard thing, it's that I occasionally find myself in these jumping puzzles, like in Spikeland Town earlier, or other places that you've seen me play through, which feature such significant amounts of spikes and hazards that would normally just kind of bop you around and make you feel a little bit worse about yourself as a person and a little bit worse about dust or whatever. But these ones, they just instantly kill you, and it's brutal. Well, I think that wraps up today's episode of Dust. Thank you all for watching and whatnot. But I also wanted to do a shameless little plug here. I recently made the sound effects for a Flash game for a friend of mine who runs a webcomic called Prequel Adventures. It's pretty cool, you should check it out. I'll provide a link in the description. Thank you for watching.